So yo, I figured it out, right? Or at least I think I did. So just hear me out for a minute, y'all. This is gonna piggyback off of the last video that I did about, why is everybody saying this? Paul and the snack attacking in the background, so it's late night, I'm snacking. This is healthy stuff though, like Nutri-Grain bars and shit like that. All right, so listen, right? There's You might have heard me speak about the planet Saturn being a unbiased planet, and it's a neutral planet. That's another word for it, because Saturn is about the work you put in, right? It's called the great teacher. It's called the great rewarder. However, it's not based upon instant gratification. It's based upon longevity, restraints, delays, so you can ponder or be tested in your pursuit of your endeavor, right? So the reason why I'm bringing up Saturn is because Saturn rules over the sign Capricorn, and picking up from where we left off, we're trying to figure out why that sign is getting such a bad rap in astrology, tarot, etc. when, it's being analyzed, when it's being mentioned as far as things relative to habits, repetitious speed. All right, so even right there, right, boom, there it goes. Keyword there is habits. Keyword there is habits. So this is where I believe I figured it out. So when we as people do stuff, and let's get back to the definition of what Saturn is. Saturn is about work ethic. That's why it's so neutral. It doesn't matter about the passion or the all of the emotion you may put into a particular routine that you do. It's more about just doing it. Like let's use a factory worker, for example, or someone who, let's say, that sews bucket hats, and they sew the same hat day after day after day after day, same color, everything, and it's just like, now they're doing it as like second nature. They just we'll put it under the machine, pull it out, thread it, put it on the machine, sew it, pull it out, right? So at this point, there's really nothing to sewing these bucket hats. You just do it. You've done it so much that it's second nature. It's like riding a bike, right? So it's not like, you get what I'm saying, right? There's not a whole lot of passion or emotion or feelings felt involved with this particular routine. And if we're going to keep it a buck, and of course that's going to be related to the workforce, and you're going to get some type of reward for doing that thing repetitively, right? So that is a great example of what Saturn is about, right? So if we look at this, it could be dry, it could be brittle, it could be boring. Saturn will do that to you. For those of you who know about Saturn being in your life, right? Nonetheless, though, it teaches you what? Discipline. You practice discipline. You practice order. You practice methodology and stuff like that. So, you see now how neutral this planet is. So now let's get back to the whole description that I was mentioning last time about tarot, and how tarot readers, when they mention Capricorn, is usually based upon people's excessive indulges. I'm going to use that word because when they depict it, it sounds more like indulging than it does habits. But if we look at both words, they're kind of very similar. Indulging a habits, or how they say, you excessively stick to something, right? You hold on to it because you don't want to let it go. It's a pleasure. It's something that you find pleasure in. So to let it go is just like, it makes you feel icky. It makes you feel detrimental. It might make you feel sick even, right? You might get lovesick if your lover all of a sudden gets up and goes and stuff like that. So that's really the point that I want to make right here, right? Is this. This what made me think that I've nailed it. Because what if Humans are out here holding on to these vices that are not work related. However, they're doing them in a manner that is repetitious, that is habitual, right? It's a habit. Therefore, it's only natural that they become attached to those vices, to those things that they keep practicing. So now, if we remove this behavior from, a factory worker sewing a bucket hat, and we shift it to a girlfriend, your boyfriend, if you shift it to eating ice cream, if you shift it to what else? Drugs and alcohol. If you shift it to, your favorite food, I said ice cream. But you get where I'm going with this? These things are done repetitiously. These things, therefore, consequently, you become attached to them. They become second nature to you. Think about coffee drinkers, y'all. Everybody who drink coffee out here, right? Listening right now. Think about when you drink coffee. And a lot of people say this, don't talk to me till I have my coffee, and I'm serious. Like, I ain't even have my coffee yet. Get out my face, right? Think about this for a minute. It's because you do this routinely, repetitiously. So you may really feel like you didn't get up until you got your coffee. Some of y'all, same thing with smoking weed or smoking cigarettes. Same thing. I ain't even had my first cigarette of the day. Leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? It's that routine that you are used to. So you may neglect it. You may not look at it the same as you look at it like going to work every day. You may look at it as a matter of fact, what I meant to say is you may look at it just like going to work every day. That's what I meant to say. Instead of looking at it like, hold on, wait a minute, this is potentially harmful to me. It makes me feel good because it's a routine, right? And if you're gonna do something, you might as well be good at it, right? And do it a lot, right? But if you don't analyze the potential negative impacts that these vices can have on you when you hold on to them, then you are in somewhat of denial of the things that harm yourself and the things that harm others too. Some people might not like, if you got a spouse and your spouse don't like you coming to bed with smoke on you, that's an issue, right? That's an issue. So this thing rubs off onto your peers, your family members and stuff like that, even your coworkers and stuff like that. What are the repetitious behaviors that you have that are outside of the line of work? So, my point, another point to make is it's different if you smoke cigarettes for a living, right? Let's say Newport paid you, or Marlboro paid you to smoke their cigarettes. You see where the difference would be? You see how it wouldn't be biased? It's just like Saturn, the planet Saturn at that point is just like, okay, this is what you do for a living, go ahead. It's like a oil rig worker or whatever the case may be. These are dangerous jobs, right? But they do it nonetheless because it's labor and you get rewarded from it. It's not if anything, there's going to be some restrictions and rules put into play because that's Saturn also, right? What is the most protective regulations we can put in this type of field to protect these workers, to protect this workforce? And once we've done that, okay, that's established, reward these people after the job is done, right? It's just like going to work every week and you don't get paid to the end of the week, right? That's Saturn. Why can't you get paid up front? You get what I'm saying? It's just like, nah, you got to finish this week out. We got to be able to trust you that you're in it for the long haul. We got to be able to know that you're with this. So we'll pay you at the end of the week. You know what I mean? That's how we're gonna establish this relationship, in contrast to quick pleasures being gratified or whatever the case may be. And I think that's it, yo. I'm not even gonna drag this out. Like, I think that's it. I think that is why Capricorn is being dragged through the mud about this whole devil thing. And here comes the devil. The devil's gonna attack you. The devil's gonna throw this at you. The devil's gonna throw that at you. When in all actuality, what it is us grabbing onto vices that are not work related, and we're utilizing them in a repetitious manner to the point where we become addicted to them. Or these might not be healthy habits. Therefore, when they are taken away or they are delayed, right? Because that's what Saturn does. Saturn, Satan, however you want to say it, that's what Saturn does. It's like, oh, you did this. It's just like work, right? Some people might want to work 7 days a week. Saturn to say, no, take 2 days off. Goodness. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'll see you Monday. You get what I'm saying? So it's like when that area of refrain comes about, that gap in between what you are so used to doing, the mind can wander. You might feel insecure. Your thoughts might wander to the point where you're thinking the worst. You're thinking negative things. You know what I mean? And then it's just like, now your mind has the best of you. And what does they say? An idle mind is the devil's playground, right? Again, Capricorn getting the bad rabbit out. Again, I'm not picking on you Capricorns out there. I'm not. I'm just want to get to the root of this so that we could probably understand something better in a better way so that we can address it in a healthy way and just pick up on these things beforehand, perhaps get prevention focused instead of so promotion focused when it comes to the things that we do that harm ourselves and harm others. All right, hope this helps somebody out there. I'm out.